Welcome, everyone. My name is Daniela Schwartzman, Strategic Partnership Manager at BayWa r.e, and we are so glad to have you here for our webinar today with Pegasus Solar, and we will learn how you can optimize your business with Pegasus. So while you're all signing on, a little bit of housekeeping, make yourself familiar with the different buttons at the bottom of the page. The most important one for you is the one that says Q&A, because that's where you can put your questions in, comments. Please share. This webinar is for you. So please engage and share your comments and questions with us throughout the webinar. And I'll be monitoring that the entire time. And mute your phones. Please pay attention. I'm super excited to have Pegasus here today. So for those of you who are not familiar with BayWa r.e, just a little bit of an introduction from our side. So at BayWa, your success is our main priority. There are a couple of things that define us. For example, forecasting. So your dedicated account manager is always available to provide you guidance so you can forecast and plan your business effectively and accurately. So you can ensure that your homeowners and your customers can be served efficiently. Our web store is user-friendly, easy to use. You will always have access to up-to-date pricing, immediate ordering, and that simplifies your purchasing process. Commercial services is a big topic for us. We have a commercial service desk that offers you expert planning and precise product inventory forecasting. So for your commercial projects and assisting you also with commercial design planning and more. Consistent pricing. So our centralized structure comes to your benefit. You can benefit from consistent pricing across all strategically US warehouses and eliminating any unexpected fees. Logistics, our warehouses are strategically located, so you can easily access the product where you need it and wherever you are in the country. And with convenient direct job site delivery, products can be delivered directly to your job or construction site without the need of a middle warehouse. So if you are a US-based solar installer and not yet working with us, please check out the links that are going to be in the chat and learn how you can benefit from our support. Wonderful. So without further ado, it is a tremendous honor for me to introduce you to Andrew Jones, Vice President of Sales of Pegasus Solar, who is going to show you how you can optimize your business with their solution. Andrew, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniela, and I appreciate the invite. Let me see if I can share my screen after your.
So while Andrew is pulling up the presentation, you'll have access to the presentation after the webinar, so you'll receive an email. So in case you're wondering, it will be provided to you.
Man, all right. Are we back? Are we good? I think we're good. All right. I got an error saying, Zoom was closing, so I apologize. I'm not sure. But hopefully everything's good. Yeah, so like I was saying, appreciate the opportunity to reach out to this group and talk about how Pegasus can help optimize your business. So quick introduction to Pegasus if if you're not familiar with us. Pegasus has actually been around for, we're in our 13th year, and we've gone through a couple different evolutions, just like the solar industry, continue to have to evolve to, make, solutions that make sense for the market. So Pegasus actually started focusing on a rail-free product. There's a lot of benefits to rail-free as far as like trying to speed up installation and reduce BOM, but there's a lot of challenges to it as well. So it does require a lot of additional training and like precise mounting and wire management can be a real issue as well. So our founder and CEO, he had this light bulb moment that the best solution is actually a hybrid between a rail and a rail-free solution, and that was the spark that started what we call the new era, the next revolution in solar installation, which is skip rail. So it is this hybrid, which I'm going to walk us through and how we can use that to optimize your business. But big picture, to make that work, we had to come up with a rail system from scratch. But we've also got to come up with software solutions as well to enable the skip rail system to be engineered and designed across all these different systems. Now that we fast forward and we've got skip rail out in the market, what we're seeing is there's kind of equal parts almost the value that we can provide to the market, both in hardware and software. So this is a relatively short webinar today. I'm going to try to cover a taste of both, give you guys an introduction to Pegasus, like I said, how to optimize the business, and we'll go from there. Let me see if I can move forward here. There we go. So like I said, it started as that inspiration, that aha moment, that the best solution is actually a hybrid. To make that work, we had to create a rail system. Like I said, we started as a railless company. So to make that hybrid solution, we had to start with our own rail system. But starting a rail system from scratch is actually a huge benefit. We were able to interact with installers and get their feedback, and all of our products actually have a huge amount of installer feedback that go into them. So all those little like preferences and feature sets that installers really adhere to, that make the racking that they use something that they prefer, we were able to listen to that and integrate that into our rail system. So what you'll see is as we go through this is that those things that you really like I said, adhere to, we have included in ours. We also focus on making sure that our system the innovations that go into it can scale across all different applications, so that you can use this one system to optimize every job. So I use the analogy a lot that Pegasus is like Lego. And I think our competitors do us a little bit of a disservice by having all these different lines that don't interact with each other. But with Pegasus, everything we make connects to everything else we make. So you're entering into a Lego-like environment where you can plug and play and use our products across all different systems and roof types, etc. So creating from that foundation, we were able to put together a system that, like I said, has all the features that installers are looking for. We've got a system that everyone can install, even the new guy. And I reference that in there because we have these really fun new guy videos, which I hope you guys will check out. And the whole system is designed to optimize cost and efficiency, which is the core foundation of what this call is about. So some highlights as to what the Pegasus system does for installers. So a good way to reference that is per crew each year. So here's some really exciting stats that you guys can use, and I'm going to show you how this actually translates. But our skip rail system per crew per year, you can actually install 1,500 fewer roof penetrations, 11,000 fewer feet of rail, 10,000 pounds less racking shipped, handled, and delivered. And that 10,000 pound number has been up until recently mostly focused on the logistics benefit, but now a big selling point to installing less equipment and less aluminum is the potential hedge against tariff impact. So you're just installing less equipment, and it's all enabled with this one skip rail clamp. And what we see in analysis is that all of those that reduction in equipment and material handling savings, you can average right around $30,000 of annual savings per crew. So this is like a meaningful change and impact to the business. So what is skip rail? So skip rail, like I said, is the best of both worlds. It's the hybrid between rail and rail free. So we do have a full rail system, and every install, the base row or the first bottom row in the installation has two rails supporting the row, just like any other rail-based system. The skip rail clamp, though, introducing that function, you're actually sharing the load row to row, so that you can skip the third, fifth, seventh, etc. row of rail, mounts, clamps, splices, etc. All the accessories that make up that row of rail. So it adds up to significant savings in the equipment and the penetrations that you're putting into the roof. And it's also just a faster install. There's less to put down. And one of my favorite benefits to it is that aesthetically, as you tighten the skip rail clamp, it's auto leveling the array row to row. So you get a perfect plane on the roof and not something that you have to go back and loosen the connection to the rail and kind of pull it up and down to try to make that, at the end of the day. Just something that happens inherently with the design of the system. So to visualize it, traditional dual rail installation, 2 rows of rail for every row of modules. Sorry. But how does the skip rail actually work? We've got this great animation that just highlights it. So underneath the modules, you're eliminating. You can see it disappear that row 3 and row 5. Put the first row in as your base row, and then this is our skip rail clamp. This is the magic that's sharing that load row to row. It just attaches right onto the module frame, and you have skip rail clamps go in to support the edges of the module above it. So you drop in the module, and you just keep going across the row. So now that row is installed, and you can just keep working your way up the roof. So you can do portrait, landscape, in any combination of the layout of the roof. So it has tremendous amount of flexibility to meet the layout that makes sense for the roof type. So this is what they end up seeing. So all of those rail penetrations, etc., are eliminated from the array. So just to show kind of the flexibility behind it, it's a very simple concept. It's just the modules have to be supported at the top to bottom. So the bottom row always has the 2 rails, but provided there is a module below, you can share that load row to row and eliminate the rail underneath of it. So if you have a pipe vent, or if you've got modules off to the side, okay, no problem. You just add a rail underneath of it to make that work. So any size shape, you're just optimizing where it can make sense on the roof. So some examples, like I said, the highlight from this, the 1,500 fewer roof penetrations, 11,000. These are the same stats that are in the intro slide, the visuals to it. Like I mentioned, this is taking a bit of a different turn today with everything that's happening as far as the tariff impacts that are coming in and increasing the cost of materials to the U.S. So I made this slide to just kind of illustrate like what's happening and what to expect. There's still a lot of work to be done internal to Pegasus and across kind of all products, all industries, because this is not just us that's impacted. We're still in the mode of calculating what these impacts are, but I just wanted to give everybody a quick update, because I think it's something that I get asked about a lot recently, and I think it's something that it should just be better understood. So first and foremost, it is really important, the impact for racking specifically. Like more than 90% of the materials that go into our products are either aluminum or steel. And the original kind of aluminum steel tariffs that went into effect back in mid-March are still what applies today. So this recent activity, as far as setting reciprocal tariffs across different countries, that is not stacking with the metals tariff. So the metals tariff stands alone. The impact for us is that any import, regardless of country, still has the 25% tariff associated to it. And then that doesn't mean that there's no impact on domestic rail. So what's happening is, on the charts that I'm showing on the screen here are actually just aluminum commodity charts, because the base material of our products are these metals, and the majority of it being aluminum. The biggest impact to the cost of the system is the cost of the commodity. So since December, the global commodity for aluminum alloy, which is the finished aluminum that goes into products like ours, has gone up 14%. This is just a graph. It can go up, down, sideways. I can't predict what it's going to do next. I'm just showing you what has happened since December. The US, what ends up happening is you have the aluminum alloy, which is like the global trend for aluminum that goes into industrial products. And then there's the Midwest premium, which is you add the two together to get to what the aluminum cost is for producing materials in the US. The Midwest premium, which sets up what the US adder is, has gone up 82% since December. So a very big increase in that adder. The net impact from that is when you add the two together, 14% global and 82%, you end up with a 26% net domestic cost increase. This is not a coincidence. That's just, kind of free market. If the pricing is going up 25%, it's levelizing through supply and demand to roughly the same, So this is a tide rising event. So the aluminum cost, whether you are producing domestically or importing finished goods, has all gone up. So Pegasus and I know others that have aluminum and steel products, we're all going through the same thing to calculate this. At the end of the day, that tide rises. The only thing that creates any sort of buffer is just kind of supply and demand in the short term, and if you have any contracts to honor. But at the end of the day, this is what we expect to happen. But this is what we expect to happen based on what the tariff situation is today, which can change at any moment. But just to put that out to everybody.
Andrew,
So
a quick question here.
yeah.
As we are speaking about tariffs on domestic content, does Pegasus have products that are produced domestically?
Yes.
Do they?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. Yeah, we do. So Pegasus does have domestically produced products. There is, as you can see, I mean, it's really it's going to become somewhat parity to do at least rail, domestic versus import. And then of course there's the benefit to the domestic content adder in the current IRA language. So we do have rail and structural fasteners, and even going back into the prior guidance, components that were defined as fasteners back then. So we have the full suite of products. There's a couple of SKUs that are being added to launch in May that fill out the rest of the catalog. But yeah, we're very committed to making sure that our solution meets the domestic content standards. And we're committed, Pegasus at whole, as to have a diversified supply chain that, regardless of what happens with policies and potential tariff impacts, et cetera, that we can create a cost competitive products. So it has been really important, even before a lot of this recent tariff activity, to be diversified across countries, and most importantly, making sure that we have the US covered as well.
That's really great to hear. And on that note, just like a little reminder for everybody that please always, if you are installing commercial projects on the resi field with third-party ownership, with TPOs, please get with your tax advisor to get everything confirmed. BayWa does have a very easy system on their web store where you can see the different categories of products that should help you with complexity and finding your way. And then there was another question, Andrew, referring to some of the previous slides when you introduced the skip rail. Is the skip rail okay to be used on flat roofs?
Skip rail, it can be used on flat roof. We have a design tool that you put in all the parameters and it will approve or not. To do it on flat, it's probably going to be in an area with without high snow load, anything like that. So to just answer it like more broadly, the design tool, you plug in the specifics to the project. And what's really great about our design tool is that it'll optimize the skip rail when applicable. But if it is, a situation that the loads would require dual rail, it calculates it as dual rail and gives you that BOM.
That's awesome. So you're on the safe side either way. It will
Yep.
optimize what's needed for your roof. Thank you.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And same, if there's the flat roof, but the same implication for like, an installer that's in a really high snow load area. So like, Minnesota or the mountains of Utah, et cetera. In those really high loads, it's going to suggest dual rail installation. But the great thing is it's all the same SKUs. It's not I have to switch systems based on what these characteristics are. It's just whether or not I'm using the skip rail clamp to eliminate this row of rail or not.
As we're talking about weather, I was wondering about that. Snow being one. How about hurricane areas?
Yeah, skip rail is rated up to 160 miles an hour. So the vast majority of the country, even in some like in extreme environments, but like a Miami-Dade, where you're like 175, 180, et cetera, that's going to be a dual rail installation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. These are great questions. Yeah, thank you. I bring this up, one, because it's a hot topic that been asked about it a lot, and I just wanted to try to give some guidance out to the group as to what the impacts of tariffs are at the moment, and we're calculating to that. But just to highlight, these same stats, installing less material and 10,000 fewer pounds of material per crew per year, it comes out to between 15 and 25% less aluminum than any other rail-based system out there. So the skip rail revolution or innovation has actually, we didn't start out to solve for tariff implications, but it does have a great hedge against tariff implications. The fact that the tide is rising and the cost of the raw materials are just inherently going up with this activity, the best thing you can do is just install less aluminum, and that gives you the best hedge against that. So yeah. All right, let's keep going. And actually dive into a little bit of the details of the rail system itself. So we wanted to do a poll question. I think, Danielle,
Yes,
you
let's
coordinate
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
For you, dear attendees, share with us, how long have you been using your current racking solution? Just gauging where you're at. 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 to 8 years, or 8 years plus. So let's see. We have some loyal installers. All right, here comes the 1 and 2 years. And yeah, there's benefits to all of it, right? So how long have you been using your current racking solution? I think there's no movement right now. Let's
Okay.
let's see. So Andrew, what do you think? Is that surprising? What is your take?
No, it's actually not surprising at all. And why I wanted to pull the audience and ask this question. What we find is racking is actually, one of the hardest things to consider changing as a category in your business. You tend to get really comfortable with it. You learn the motor memory of the equipment. You got truck stock of these items, and the crews just develop their preferences. And so, not surprised at all to see that the number one response is 8+ years. I mean, that's pretty incredible when you think about like modules as an example. I bet if we did the same poll for modules, you're changing that on a pretty regular basis, just based on what the availability is, and different technology, price per watt, whatever, right? So we take that very seriously. That we understand that there are some deep-seated connection and preferences to it. Can I move that? Okay.
Yes, we can
Okay.
click that.
So I'm gonna. So and like I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, we started with a white sheet of paper to develop the racking system. The big benefit to that is that those benefits that have been keeping you loyal for a long time, a lot of those benefits that we've addressed, and we've even come up with some pretty creative ways to improve and give a better day on the job, which is our tagline, our motto. To the installers, to the owners, distributor, etc. So couple highlights to that. So we do have an open channel rail, which obviously not all installers use open channel today, but the ones that do tend to have that be like one of their like core preferences that they aren't willing to give up. The ability to do wire management into the channel is a key part of the installation process. We're a big proponent of that, obviously with our open channel rail, but even just looking at it from the perspective of what are the major O&M concerns that happen, several of them come from poor wire management. So being able to secure the wires into the rail and give them that lifetime lifetime protection is a big part that we think value prop that installers should be taking advantage of.
There's another question here, if I
Yeah,
may jump in. With the technology,
of
obviously
course.
really impressive. Is Pegasus working to join the Position AVL list?
Yes, we are. So AVLs, as AVLs go, the financiers, they're very busy people with a lot of things that they've got to deal with. And the best thing we can do to get onto the AVL, because we have all we need as far as the reliance letters and qualifications for domestic content, the quality control, et cetera, that gets us on any AVL. What we need is their attention, and the best thing we can ask for is that whoever asks that question to reach out to your PosiGen rep and say, hey, Pegasus is anxious to work with you guys and get you what you need to get on the AVL. Like, can you do that? That's our best path, our fastest path on the AVL. But we are in contact with them, working through trying to get that full AVL review completed and added to the domestic content AVL as well. All right. So open channel rail. The little video that's playing here, and I'm highlighting this specifically. One like key innovation that came from our history of being a rail-free company and wanting to use less bulky materials, reduced materials in total, is we had to come up with a splice that enabled the shorter rail length. Longer rail lengths are expensive to handle logistically, and can be a challenge as far as creating more scrap on the roof. So what we were able to do was come up with the splice that's shown in this little video here. So it's a toolless, non-interfering structural splice. So as you can see in the graphic, it can be installed anywhere in the array, right? Next to the mount, and the clamps, are not impacted by the location of the splice as well. So by having this non-interfering toolless splice, you can install it very quickly. We've actually the design and engineering was designed to do it as low cost as possible, so that our target is that you can actually do two pieces of shorter rail spliced together and have it be competitive as far as the cost per watt with a singular piece of rail. And we've done that with this design and with the usability. And that has a big impact on the and I'm not sure, does the sound play through, Daniela?
I can't hear it.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. But just to show the video, there, he's talking about it, but just to show the video of
Oh,
how quick
I can
and
hear a little
easy it
bit.
is to
Maybe
splice.
you can put the
Oh,
sound up a little bit.
okay. I think that's perfect. So that's how easy it is to put in the splice. Like I said, we designed the splice to be as inexpensive as possible, and this is the benefit. So we can actually standardize on 7-foot rail, which allows our bundles to be shipped as a pallet, as opposed, or I'm sorry, our rail to be shipped as a pallet as opposed to a bundle. And that dramatically simplifies and reduces costs and logistics, and even just the simplification for installers and running crews and doing hot shots, and like you can put some rail on the back of a Prius and take it out to the job. So top to bottom, this has a really big implication. So something that we've been really excited about, and that was one of a core value prop that we were coordinating with BayWa to really promote 7-foot rail. Obviously, we're big believers in it. I know the BayWa team is out there promoting this with us as well. But yeah, huge benefit as far as simplicity and reduction of logistics costs to be able to do this.
There's also some feedback already in our Q&A. 7-foot rail is awesome. All capitalized. Less shipping damage for sure. I
Yeah.
wonder whether there is a little bit you can say about shipping damage.
Yeah, I mean, the longer something is, the more awkward it is to handle, and the more it has to be handled in kind of a specialized way. So yeah, 100%. You see less damage, and you can see like the top right picture here is how it comes packaged from Pegasus. So we do the protection around the outside edges and the center. And that helps actually dramatically as well. Not having the exposed ends. And not to get too detailed on it, but that's actually it's funny that they bring up the damage and shipment and even just all the way up to the job site. That ended up being a pretty major factor in an installer choosing Pegasus because there was a competitor of ours that was quoting rail lower cost than the Pegasus cost, but in the real world trials, Pegasus, we were hitting the numbers that we projected to hit in cost per watt, and the competitor didn't. And one of the major contributing factors was damage to the rail, like how much rail was lost that never got to be installed because it was damaged beyond use. So yeah, just an interesting anecdote. All right, I'll keep going if it lets me. Oh yeah, this is just a fun visual of how you can load it into the truck and where those logistics savings come from. All right, so on to the exciting topic of mounts. So our next poll question. So Danielle, I think you can take it.
Yeah, let's do it. So what is your preferred mounting method for comp shingle? You have one choice: flashing, flashless with butyl tape. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah.
Flashless with installer applied sealant, or other. Okay, so far it's looking a lot for flashing and flashless.
Yeah.
Let's see some more. Everybody, please participate, share, all anonymous.
Yeah.
Just like to see your preferences.
The poll questions are fun to watch.
Absolutely. So flashing seems to lead with 50%, flashless with butyl tape 25%. And
Yeah.
then we have flashless with installer applied sealant and other coming in with 13%. I think we could end the poll and share the results. So, Andrew, what do
Awesome.
you think looking at these results?
No, again, not surprised, and love to see the feedback live here. That's very cool. So, flashings, or I'm sorry, attachments to comp shingle. Obviously, that's the most prevalent roof type in the U.S. The one that you gotta get right. The U.S. has been doing flashings for many years, so not surprising that there's still a strong preference for that. And Pegasus does sell flashings, and we've sold flashings for many years. In fact, in the evolution from rail free to the new skip rail system, the in between, Pegasus was selling flashings. So it is a safe way to install to the roof. Those three options, and I'm going to introduce in a second InstaFlash as the innovation comes from Pegasus. That's different. But those three options, they all have potential failure points in the installation process, and that wasn't acceptable for Pegasus. Like, and we referenced it a little earlier, that we have these fun videos about the new guy. We wanted to create a solution that you just can't mess up, that the new guy, first day on the job, you just hand him a drill, and he doesn't have to understand the full system to be able to install it correctly. So where the challenges come from? So, flashings, like I said, for them, tried and true, it's a really stable way to do it. Honestly, the only place that goes wrong with flashings typically is damaging the shingles interacting with them. So like putting the pry bar, trying to separate them. Shingles are also, the shingle manufacturers are adding a lot more adhesive properties between the shingles, so they're becoming harder and harder to separate and easier to damage as you want to integrate to them. So sliding that up in there, and honestly, it's usually the leak that would come from a flashing install is usually not actually at the flashing, it's at a damaged point near the flashing. So you slid the pry bar a little too far, nicked something, or pulled the nail out, etc. That's good, and like I said, we do sell flashings. You can install them at scale, and it can go well, but there is that potential issue. Butyl tape, the potential issue there is the limitations to installing butyl tape. When you install it where two shingles come together, which is called the butt joint, the butyl tape, can't really get down into that slot canyon that's tight between those two shingles. So all the installation manuals, reference that you need to add sealant, to that in that installation to avoid that issue. All good and great. Like if you install any of these products exactly to their installation manual and everything goes perfectly, yeah, they'll be great. But the challenge is, can you do that at scale? When you install, thousands upon thousands of mounts in really harsh conditions, can you do that without ever making a mistake? Because, I love this quote that I got from sitting with an installer one time, that the only acceptable amount of leaks is 0. And that's what InstaFlash, which is our innovation, is designed to do. And I should address it, since I talked about the failure point when you apply sealant on the roof. So you're injecting, with a gun, or you're adding it to the bottom. You can forget to add it. You can add too much, too little. There's the potential limitations on the sealant itself, like as far as temperature, and that sealant, all those sealants cure and harden. And so you have the potential to delaminate. So the mounts are always kind of moving back and forth between expansion and contraction and loads on them. So a sealant that hardens and cures leaves that potential to crack, delaminate, and create a potential issue, even if you remember to apply it and apply it correctly. So we needed the new guy proof version, which is InstaFlash. So InstaFlash comes in 2 different versions. We have InstaFlash 1 and InstaFlash 2. 1 is rafter only, and 2 can be installed to deck or rafter. But InstaFlash just designates that has the pre-installed non-hardening proprietary sealant. So you can kind of see in the photo here, there's a robot that applies our sealant to every mount in the perfect amount every time. So the potential that you could forget to apply sealant on the roof doesn't exist. It's always there. Our sealant never hardens ever, which is kind of a weird concept for people to grasp onto. But it stays semi-liquid. It stays pliable for life, which gives a lot of flexibility in installation as well. One of the downsides to the butyl tape solution is that if you stick it in the wrong spot and it's in the right conditions, then it's on there. And to remove it is to damage the roof and to remove the shingle. But for us, it's flexible, so you can actually kind of reset it, realign it, put it back in, and no issues. And the fact that it's non-hardening, that dynamic movement of the mount through its life, it's just it's pushing that sealant into any nook and cranny, and sealing and resealing, all day, every day. So you don't end up with that potential to delaminate. And the sealant itself can handle extreme conditions. So you can install it all the way down to 0 degrees, which is a limitation for sealants and butyl tape. They typically go down into the 20s or 32. You can go down into 0. You can install it all the way up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, which I hope most people are not installing in that condition. And you can literally install it underwater. One of the other limitations to other technologies is that the roof should be dry and clean, etc. Our sealant is hydrophobic. Water can't touch it. So when you press it in or when you lag down the mount and it presses in, it's pushing the water away, and it doesn't matter that the roof is wet. So that's a big benefit for installers. So the quick dive, InstaFlash 1, like I said, rafter only, single lag. You're drilling pilot holes. If you miss, you're installing the InstaFlash 1 on top of the missed pilot hole. It is filling that for you. InstaFlash 2, like I said, is both rafter and deck. So this was, hotly anticipated. We had a lot of customers asking us to bring this version out. That you get that flexibility that you can do deck attach when you need to, but all the same InstaFlash benefits apply. Like I mentioned, you can install it wet, you can install it, and then wide range of temperatures, and whether you're on the rafter or not just depends on how many screws you're applying to the installation. And then the InstaFlash technology, we've actually partnered that up with our tilt system, which again, like I said, our system is kind of like Lego, where everything goes together, right? So same rail, same clamps, all that. But this is actually a huge benefit for installers that are using like chem curves on residential flat roof, like a patio or an adobe roof. As long as you can get the InstaFlash to connect to the rafter and create that structural connection, then we can take advantage of this. And there's a huge benefit between a single lag InstaFlash installation versus like a chem curve, which is one, they're very expensive, time consuming, and yeah, very, very expensive. All right, so that's comp and flat. Real quick, for tile, we have a fantastic tile replace solution called scissor mount. So you only have to integrate with one tile because the scissors actually drop down with the tile flashing in place, as you can see there on the screen. You drop it down. As you close the scissors together at the top, it's engaging with the sled, and the T-bolt holds it in place. So really, really fast install, and takes the challenge of installing onto tile, which, honestly, compared to comp shingle, it's a lot less fun, but we try to make it as fun as possible and give everybody a better day on the job, like I mentioned. What's really popular too is that scissor mount has the deck attach option. This is wildly popular because finding rafters underneath tiles is no fun. So giving that flexibility to just pull the tile that makes sense for your array, you know that you can hit the sled right where you want it, and all the same scissor benefits above.
There's a
So,
question
yep.
right here. Is there a deck mount attachment for flat roof from Pegasus?
Sorry, say that one more time, Danielle.
Is there a deck mount attachment for flat roof from Pegasus?
So as of today, for flat roof or Insta-Tilt, you have to use IF1 and use the rafter version. The reason why is we're actually coming out with some new attachment hardware that is going to improve the pullout strength, and we want to test with that new hardware to certify the deck attach version. It's a lot of tests to do it, so better to wait to do the tests with all the newest equipment and then certify it that way. So you will have a deck attached version of the IF2 enabled to do flat roof, but we're going to do it with updated hardware. And for all the other solutions, you can attach. We have an agnostic system as far as our T-bolt can interact, and so like S5 as an example, loading S5 engineering to be able to easily go to all the different roof profiles for metal. That's just one example. And if tile hook is a preference, we do have a tile hook as well. And we understand that obviously there's some preferences and, cost benefit to that. But yeah, so that's the rail system, kind of top to bottom. And if we have a little bit more time, which I think we have just a couple minutes more, yeah?
We do. Go ahead.
I want to touch really quickly on the software side. So like I mentioned at the top, Pegasus has evolved to be kind of equal parts hardware and software. And our team actually developed our design tool. It's completely custom software developed from scratch by the Pegasus team. Which means we have no limitations as to how we kind of innovate and create the UI. This is not built on someone else's platform that we have to ask them for updates to update a feature set. This also gives us the power to integrate with anyone. And that is a big part of our strategic vision moving forward is, and I use this term a lot, that we want to be the USB port of solar. We're not trying to take over and become, the proposal generator and the site capture guy and so on. Like there's a lot of really innovative software companies in solar that provide some tremendous value. And there's going to continue to be more and more. So it would be arrogant for us to say that, hey, we could take all of those things and try to recreate it and get people into our system. What we want to do is just integrate with the innovators in the space and create a process flow through those integrations that helps improve efficiency and accuracy. So our completely custom software, I challenge you guys to go on and log in and set up an account. We have an amazing UI user experience to be able to do the designs, through our design tool. We listen and interview you guys a lot as far as what would make your life easier, and we program those features into it. We have lots of the things that people love about our tool. We're just the end of the sentence that wouldn't it be great if. We always want to hear the end of that sentence, and when we do, we have a really innovative team that makes that happen. So funny enough, we actually have more software engineers on staff than we do mechanical engineers now. That's just to show the emphasis on how much we're investing onto the software side of things. So there's over 18 software engineers. We actually do have a full BOM loaded into our design tool. It's not just the Pegasus BOM. That same logic that a lot of installers use, that usually an Excel template or something similar, like, you know, if you're in phase, like 1.2 drops per mod, or one attic run box per array, etc. All of that logic, we've built into the tool so that you can program it. And when you hit calculate, you're calculating the full BOM, not just our BOM. We also have integrated permit services with a 24-hour turnaround. And through some of these integrations, really, really fast timeline to go from the work that you've already done with the proposal tool to getting all the way through to requesting a full permit pack. In some cases, it can be like a minute or two. So I wanted to highlight one, the Scanify integration. So this little demo is you're inside the Scanify tool. So anybody using Scanify today, this is something that you can turn on. This integration is live. So you're developing your projects just like you always do. That creates a lot of project details, right? And before integrations, you have to kind of import export that, either, which a lot of times is just people having both screens up and transferring the information back and forth. Now in a single click, you're taking all those project details and they're coming over into the Pegasus design tool. And I'm going to pause the video here real quick. This is a really important component here. Our design tool actually designs as it is on the roof, a contiguous array. Many other design tools, when you change from portrait to landscape, or you have modules kind of separated from each other through gaps, etc., that creates different arrays in their logic. But Pegasus, it's actually really important to us to know the contiguous array, like how it actually is on the roof, because of skip rail. We need to know where they are in relation to each other so we can design the engineered loads and where we can eliminate rail for you guys. So when it comes over exactly how it is on the roof, and that enhances the user experience. One, it's much more visual as to what the project details are. So it comes over complete. Everything that Scanify has or other integrations have comes over, fills in. All of what you see right there, kind of scrolling back and forth, those can be set as admin preferences. So, I always use 7-foot black rail as an example. So you don't have to go in and change it. Those can be defaults. But when you hit calculate, like I said, it's calculating the BOM, associated. It's not highlighted in this video, but you can see the module down there. You can scroll down and see other components that you've got programmed in the calculate as well. But very quickly, you get all the way through to the project dashboard that has all the details again, pulls the photos from the integration partner. And you can hit at the top there, you can hit submit for a permit pack. So you've got just about all the details you need. You might need to add some site evaluation details, like the meter number or something that could be required. But anything that can be pulled forward is pulled forward, and then you're only asked what's missing to take the next step. So yeah, that highlight just shows how quick it is to go from the work you've already done in Scanify to being able to track your projects and details, generate a full BOM, and even request a full permit pack. So a couple of the outputs that come from that, we do have these great engineering reports, again, highlighting that the contiguous array. It shows like the components, the skip rail clamps, where you're avoiding rail, etc. The details actually come over by array, which installers find really helpful. Like if you've got an install that's part of it's going on the roof, part of it's going on a garage, like you can divide the BOM and only take up the ladder, like what is associated with that array. You can also download the full details in the full BOM in both PDF and Excel. Installers use this a ton. You can aggregate up a whole bunch of projects and download that in Excel. And you can send it to BayWa, and they can use that as forecasting, right? Where it's like, here's the next 17 projects that I've got coming, here's all the components: Pegasus, it's Q cells, it's Enphase, it's whatever, everything in aggregate to send over. Helps forecast quite a bit. And as I mentioned, those admin features can be set by the admin, and you can set those as both hard and soft defaults. So a hard default, like none of your users can change it, or a soft default, it always starts at using Black Rail, but if somebody wants to switch it to Mill, you allow them to. But yeah, like I said, you spend the time up front to program in the BOM logic and the defaults, etc. And then you're just flying through this process flow to get calculations and get to the outputs that you need to help run your business. So in conclusion, I don't want you to just take my word for it, because this is a cool webinar. I really want you to interact with us. We love to do free trials with installers, because, like I said, conversion of racking is one of the hardest things to do. So the best thing to start that process is to have you touch and feel it, and not just trust me on PowerPoint, but to see it in the real world. We also have a robust comparison tool that we coordinate with BayWa to be able to give you that comparison as to what the financial impact is to the business, like how much money can skip rail save me compared to what I'm using today. We got some great tools that make that easy to read and easy to fill in. And then, interact with us on the design tool. We can do a design tool training. We're also starting to do what we call integration interviews, where we want to have a call with you to learn about your process flow, figure out if there's ways that integrations that we've already done can help that automate that process flow, or even learn from you, and coordinate with you on how we can help automate a flow specific to you. The vision, like I said, is not to ask you to join a path that we created. Our vision is to kind of walk along the path that makes sense for your business, and see how much we can help optimize it.
I love this, Andrew. Thank you so much. I'm so impressed, and especially what I'd love to have everybody walk away with is, not only the product and all the fantastic features, whether it's the 7-foot rail or, all the way to the design tool, which is so useful. What's really staying with me is that you are really with the installer the entire process. From when you started creating your product, in taking in all the feedback and all the challenges that can come up, all the way to the end where you invite installers to come and to go along with you and try out all these things. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming here, for your partnership, and also to everyone who attended. Please take us up on that. Take us up on going together. Our OSRs are ready to arrange meetings with your Pegasus representative, and let's have that conversation. Let's see, and let's have some tryouts, and show you how this can be optimizing your business. Thank you.
Yeah.
So as I said, like, there will be no, you will get the presentation. If there are no more questions right now, that's fine. You can reach out to us as well. We'll be happy to answer questions and to put you in touch. Before you hop off, check out the new guy video that we posted
Yeah,
in the
sure.
chat. It's really fun
Thank
to
you.
watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, thank you, Andrew, for your time and for sharing all of this with us today.
Thank you so much, Daniela, for having me. It's been a real pleasure. And thank you for posting that video. I talked about it like 6 times, so make it easy. Appreciate that.
Awesome. And we get some things from the audience as well. Thank you for engaging, and thank you for all your questions and your participation, and for showing up. Stay tuned. If you happen to be in the Pompano area, Pegasus actually will be at one of our locations on May 1st for a hands-on training. So if you can make that, keep your eyes peeled for some communication about that, or reach out. We'll be happy to helping you to get signed up for one of the limited spots.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.